lie down, just take a few conscious, slow, and deep breaths. So the breath is one of the key foundations of our practice, and we can keep coming back to it over and over, so it's always useful. And with the sound of the bell, just letting that be sort of a symbolic gesture of this transition between the kind of flow of our day, the state of doing, into a state of being, just letting yourself come to quiet. So one of the foundations of rest is the ability to trust the moment. So we have to be able to surrender when we rest deeply. And when we allow ourselves to rest deeply, it's a perfect preparation for that same type of transition when we go to sleep. So we practice that on the mat, and then we can kind of use that and apply that when we go to bed. Letting things be exactly as they are. Good, bringing your palms together, palm to palm in front of your heart. And if you want, you can call in a particular intention or dedication for your practice this evening. When you can feel complete there, take your time. You can always set your intention later. Just lift your hands up, touch your forehead. Just seal it in and acknowledge and honor your own inner guide. And then exhale, releasing the arms and the hands back down. And then we're going to stay on our backs. If you have anything under your knees, you can just kind of shift that off to the side. And then we'll bend the knees, bring your feet down, step your feet as wide as your mat, so kind of feel for the outer edges there, and then sweep your arms out a little bit further from the sides of the body with your palms up. And then we're going to take the knees and lower legs and just rock side to side, just sort of that back and forth, gentle rhythmic movement. So when we transition to deeper states of relaxation, the brain waves change. They slow down, and they also don't go as steep. So they slow down and they smooth out. And that's the same for different stages of sleep. Good, and then next time both knees drop to the right, pause there. Keeping that nice smooth and deep breath. Good, and then keeping both knees dropped across to the right, reach your arms up and then hold onto the right wrist with your left hand. And then as you take your next exhale, just slowly bring the right arm across the body toward the left. And you can kind of guide it down with your left hand. You can also, if you're ready for it, you can just slightly pull out to the left. So your left arm or your left hand is pulling that right arm across. It's a little traction for the outer right shoulder. Good, and then releasing that right arm, drop both arms down back by your side. And then just breathe freely. Let's rock the knees a few more times, side to side, that back and forth movement. Good, and then let both knees now drop across to the left. Feet stay wide, so we have that staggered position there. And then just give it a few breaths first, just with the legs. So one of the most common things that can disturb sleep is pain in the body. So you can start to just work at regularly tending to the physical body in order to help with deeper sleep. Reach your arms up, hold on to your left wrist with your right hand. Start to encourage the left arm across to the right, so swinging it over your kind of chest area. And the right elbow will bend, and you can just bring the arm down, find that stretch. And then once you establish that stretch, you can start to pull gently, so that left arm is now kind of extending out to the right, pulling with that right hand. And do what works for your body, so please listen, go slowly. Feeling that unwinding that outer left shoulder. Good, last breath. And inhale, releasing the grip of your left hand, drop both arms back down by your sides. And let's take our last couple cycles there, rocking again, side to side, back and forth. Just feeling that for your pelvis, feeling that for your hips. Good, and then coming back to center. And the next exhale, bring both knees in towards your chest. Reach up with your arms and hands and just pull in. Just beginning to kind of stretch gently through the low back area, feeling that lightening. Great, and then bring your hands on top of your kneecaps. So your elbows are gonna kind of point down toward the sides of your ribs. So you're just kind of holding the tops of your knees. And then you can breathe freely, or you can coordinate this with your breath, either way. So when you're ready, extend your right arm, keep your right hand on your knees. You're gonna just rock that right knee forward. And then rebend the right elbow, right knee comes in, and then left knee comes forward. You're kind of scissoring the knees, the back and forth, almost like the same movement you do when you're walking. That's a small movement. So left knee forward, left arm extends, left elbow bends, left knee in, and then we switch. You might feel that kind of gently moving into the sacrum. So one thing that helps the thinking mind to kind of start to relax is rhythmic movement of the body. That's why taking a walk before bed can be helpful. Just feel this body-brain connection, just feeling sensation, not needing to analyze it. Good, couple more. Great, and then coming back to center, so bring both knees in for a moment just to find symmetry again. Great, and then dropping your arms down by your side, so tuck them in close to the sides of the body, press your hands down, so feel that for your shoulders, and then extend your legs up. So a little bit more active here, and it's okay to have your knees slightly bent, especially if you're tighter in the hamstrings. Flex your feet, and then point your toes just a few times, kind of working into your ankles, toes, feet. You can also hold the backs of your legs if you're feeling any strain there on your low back. Good, and then now you can circle into your feet. Just kind of play with that movement. Good. Speaking of sleep, sometimes we don't realize how tired we are until we start to drop into the body, and we can kind of gauge our energy level from that vantage point, from the viewpoint of the body. Good, and then rebend the knees. This time bring your knees wide towards your shoulders and pull in. And then slide your hands down more toward the middle of your shins. So we're just kind of changing the sort of angle there, and pull the shins in toward the hamstrings, so straight down. Great, and then releasing, dropping your feet down. So the feet are going to come hip width apart, and then just pause for a moment. So just kind of taking a moment to feel the effects of your practice so far. So we're going to drop back into a rhythmic movement. So we'll flow with the breath here. So bring your arms close into the sides of the body, turn the palms in, and then we're going to be rolling up and down in and out of bridge pose, and we'll alternate our arms. So as you inhale, press down through your feet, start to roll the spine up, lift your pelvis, and then reach your right arm either straight up or all the way overhead. And then as you exhale, rolling back down, and drop that right arm back down by your side. And then other arm, inhale, roll up, left arm will reach either up or all the way overhead. And then exhale, roll down, drop that left arm down, and just use your own breath cycle to initiate the movement of the body. You'll feel that little pause at the top and a little pause at the bottom of the breath. Good, let's do one more cycle. So as we inhale, taking in the nourishment of the breath. And then as we exhale, let go of anything that you don't want or need right now. Yes, great. And then next time you roll down, when you're complete there, just pause, step your feet out nice and wide, and drop the knees together. So we're going to feel this kind of inner rotation of the upper legs. Great, so we're going to go right into a nice kind of deeper stretch for the legs. So take your strap, or you can use a belt or a scarf, and you're going to hook the ball of your left foot with your strap. And then extend your left leg, hold the ends of the strap in a way that's not going to create tension for your shoulders. And then extend your right leg out. So you want to start with a moderate stretch, so don't go all the way to your kind of fullest stretch quite yet. So you feel that for the back of your left leg. So the strap is up toward the ball of your foot, so you can pull down, so you're flexing that left foot, working into the lower leg as well. Just try to soften the chest. Feel the rise and the fall of the belly as you breathe. Couple more nice slow breaths. Good. Now bring both ends of the strap into your left hand. So same side, leg and arm. Bring your right hand to rest on top of your right thigh, and then you can just kind of gently press down just to encourage and remind you to kind of anchor down through that right femur bone. Keep that sense of rooting down through the right upper leg, and then you can, as you take your next exhale, reach your left leg out to the sides, away from the midline. And then you can take it across until you feel a stretch for your body, and then breathe into the inseam of that left leg. And if you're pretty open here, you can also start to externally rotate a little bit, so your left toes point down, the left heel points up. And then we're going to take 3 breaths. Tracking the breath for yourself. And then after your 3rd breath cycle, take your time if you're still breathing there, lifting your left leg back up when you're complete, pausing back in center. Good, now hold both ends of the strap again. That left leg is lifted. You might be a little bit more warmed up, so possibly walk your hands a little higher up on the strap and pull down. Good. Now inhale, lift your right leg all the way up to meet your left. So the strap is still just on the left foot, but now both legs are lifted like we were doing before. And then exhale, drop that right leg all the way back down. Just do that one more time. So another little kind of movement there for the sacrum. So inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale, floating the right leg back down. Great. And then now bring the ends of the strap into the right hand, opposite arm and leg. Take the left thumb, you're going to slide it into the hip crease there, where the left upper leg meets the torso, so you can kind of slide it into that little pocket, and then press down, almost like you're trying to create space in that hip crease. And then as you exhale, guide your left leg now across to the right, but first, don't come into your full twist. Focus more on the side of your leg, the IT band. So right where you feel that, for the outer hip, outer leg, just pause there and take a few breaths. So often during the day, we're trying to get as much done as possible, maybe we're even rushing around. And here in our practice, we actually go as slow as we can. So we want to really feel all the sort of layers there, the nuance of our experience. Good, and then you can stay here with this opening for the left kind of side of your leg, or if you want to move deeper into a twist, it's optional. You can now let your left hip kind of roll up, coming into more of a spinal rotation. Left leg stays moving across to the right, and it drops closer to the floor. So these are longer holds, and we're still in the beginning of practice, so please, you can always come out and come back in if you need. Yes, great. And if you're still in that twist or the IT band stretch, inhale, unwind, coming back up. Hold both ends of the strap. Pull down on the ball of your left foot, but bend your left knee. Now bring your left knee out to the side. It's like you're in a lunge, but you're on your back, and if you have the space, you might walk your hands up closer to that foot. So you have some leverage, and then press that right leg down. So left knee comes out to the side and down. Nice deep stretch for the hamstrings. And again, give it some time, no rush. Yeah, one more slow breath. Great, and then now just slip the strap off of the left foot. Extend your left leg, interlace your fingers. Bring the hands to the back of your left leg. And then now just hold your left leg and press away from you with the left leg. So now, after all that stretching, we're just gonna engage a little bit. So your left leg is moving away from the chest, so toward the end of your mat. You might feel that kind of tugging a little bit on your shoulders, a little stretch there. Great, and then bending that left knee, release the hands, drop the left foot, and then just extend the left leg. So come back to center. And then we're just gonna take a moment on our back. So just letting that settle, maybe feel the difference between that left side and the right side. Just feeling the presence of the earth under the body. Couple more breaths. So just remembering the value in this kind of empty space where we're not doing anything in particular in the external sense. Great, and then let's grab our strap. Hook the strap now over the ball of the right foot. We're going to change sides, so it could be completely different on this side. Holding the ends of the strap, one in each hand. I like to hold with my arms long. I just find that's easier on my shoulders, but you can always bend your elbows and kind of experiment there with what feels best. So the strap is going to come all the way up toward the ball of your foot. Start to pull down until you feel that back of your leg into your calf. Just feeling this sense of anchoring down into that right hip. Couple more breaths. Just allow that slower movement, slower breath. So when we allow ourselves to rest and allow ourselves to sleep deeply and long enough, we really allow for that natural sort of digestion mentally, emotionally, physically from the activity of our day. So we integrate. Good, and then keeping some tension, pulling down on the strap. Inhale, float your left leg up to meet the right. Flex your left foot. And then exhale, floating that left leg back down. Good, and then one more like that. So inhale, floating up. So you probably feel a little bit less of a stretch when the left leg comes up on the right leg, and then drop that left leg down. And bring the ends of the strap into your right hand. Bring your left hand on top of the left thigh, so you're going to keep it kind of anchored there, and then exhale, reach your right leg out to the side, so all the way until you feel that stretching through the inseam of your leg. So we want to track how intense the stretch is, so you want to make sure you can breathe. That comes first. So if you're too far in, it'll be hard to breathe. Just back out a little. And if you're down and you're feeling pretty mobile, you can externally rotate so the right heel points up, the right toes point down. Good. Last breath. And then inhale, let's bring that right leg back up. Hold both ends of the strap again, so just come back to center, pulling down. Great, and then we're going to switch sides. So hold the ends of the strap with your left hand. Take your right thumb, slide it into the hip crease, right where the right upper leg meets the torso, and then press down. So you're kind of helping to keep that right hip in alignment with your left hip. So we keep the pelvis level. And then from there, you can move the right leg across to the left until you feel it for the side of the leg first. So just stay there. Just relax your face, your jaw. Nice even tempo of breath. And then if you want to go deeper, more into the spinal twist, you can do so next exhale. So start to kind of roll that right hip up. Right leg moves across to the left, working into the lower back, into the lumbar spine. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, floating that right leg back up. Holding the ends of the strap again, one in each hand. And then now next exhale, we're going to bend your elbows, bend the right knee to walk your hands closer up toward the foot and come into that reclining lunge. So your right knee is moving out to the side, and try to keep your right foot sort of level with the ceiling, so we're not turning the foot in or out. A few breaths. last breath cycle. And the next exhale, slide the strap off of the ball of the right foot. Now extend your right leg, interlace your fingers. Bring the hands to the back of your right leg, so you're sort of holding that leg there. And then now press the right leg away from you. So feel that little stretch for your, maybe you feel it in your wrists and your shoulders. Quadricep muscles activate. Good, and then release your hands and just drift that right leg all the way back down, coming onto your back, and just take a full rest again. So can we allow ourselves to rest even with unfinished work or unfinished obligations? So really the list will never completely get done. It's always sort of generating more elements to our to-do list. So we can we take our cycles of rest even amidst things that we have to do. So they will always be there tomorrow. And then we'll bend the knees, feet come down, and then let's just slowly roll toward one side, and we'll come all the way up to table, so up to hands and knees. We've been on our backs the whole class, so let's just take your time coming up. And once you come into your table position, just kind of get your bearings there, spread your fingers. Wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Good, and we're gonna take a slow cat and cow cycle, meaning we're gonna slightly elongate the pauses between the breaths. So we're gonna use a little pranayama, a little breath work as we move the body. So inhale, come into your back bend. At the top of the inhale, pause. So you can pause for 1, 2, or 3 counts, but make sure it's not stressful. So we're pausing on the fullness of the breath in the back bend. And then when you're ready to breathe again, as you exhale, round the spine, empty out, stay in that rounded shape, and pause on empty on the bottom of the exhale, dropping your head. 1, 2, or 3 count, pause. And then one more cycle like that with those pauses. So inhale, back bend, pause at the top of the inhale, counting. Good. If you're still in that back bend, now round and pause on empty. Great. And then we'll come back to center, just back to your table again, taking a breath. Great. And then let's lie on our front side. So walk your knees back, dropping the pelvis, dropping the belly and the heart, just lying down. Just let your head drop down. You can support your head however you like there. Good, and then we'll come up into Sphinx pose. So prop up onto your elbows and forearms. Bring your palms down so your forearms are parallel there. And in the back bend, the legs are hip width apart, so a little space. Finding that sense of reaching your chest forward without overdoing that. So we're just kind of inclining the heart to extend toward the front. Bring your shoulder blades down your back. So back bends kind of gently massage the adrenal kidney area so they can be a little bit more stimulating. So just staying in this relaxed state, breathing slowly so you keep with that slower rhythm of the nervous system. And then optional, but if you want, you can drop your chin towards your chest. Just let that Open into the back of your neck. Inhale, floating your head back up. If you're still in the back bend, we'll come out as you exhale. So elbows move wide, rolling down. Drop your chest and drop your head. Great. And then we're going to come into a shoulder stretch from this position. So bring your left hand under the left shoulder. So your elbow's going to bend. Reach your right arm straight out to the side with your palm down. So you're going to use the floor as our prop here. We're going to stretch into the right shoulder. So as you exhale, roll onto your right side. You might need something under your head, like a pillow or something. As you roll onto your side, hopefully you'll feel some opening for the front of the right shoulder. You can stack your legs, or you can bend your left leg and bring the left foot behind the right leg on the floor. So come to where you feel that. Make sure that you don't feel any tingling. So we don't want to push through tingling. Tingling is nerve impingement, so you can always back slightly out if you feel that. Just breathing in space into the front of the right shoulder. A few more breaths. Good. If you're still in, as you exhale, dissolving out. Coming back to center and just coming to rest fully before we switch sides. Just soften the eyes. Good. And I'm going to change sides. So you're going to reach your left arm out to the side. Bend your right elbow, and then as you exhale, rolling toward the left. So again, we use the floor as our prop. You can always bring a little cushion under your head if you need. You can stack your legs, or you can bend that right knee, bring your right foot to the floor behind the left leg. You can also gently press with your right hand, kind of moving that right shoulder back. This might be your tighter shoulder. Being patient with the process. Good. A few more breaths. And if you're still in, one last breath cycle, and then try to come out as you exhale. So we're going to roll back onto our front side, and then you can lie how you like back in center, just integrating that. So one of the areas of the body that can keep us up at night if there's pain is the shoulder, especially if you sleep on your side. So it's good to kind of open up the shoulders in all different directions, keeping them mobile. And then let's bring the hands under your shoulders here, press down, lifting that back to our table. And then we're going to come into child's pose, but see if you can take a nice restorative style child's pose. So you can bring your cushions in front, your bolster if you have it. The knees are going to come wide, and you're going to bow down over that support. So child's pose is one of the best poses to relax the nervous system. So you'll be here for a couple minutes. And if your knees don't like to bend like this, you can always sit up on a cushion, so you're a little higher, or sitting up on a block. And then make sure the neck is comfortable. So if you've got a bolster, chin down is great, or you can turn your head. And I'll let you know when we're at the halfway point so that you can move the head in both directions equally. And if you feel tired, let yourself feel tired. Don't resist it. It's your body's natural way of telling you you need to rest. As we kind of sink into this pose, you can keep that slightly deeper breath cycle, or you can just let the breath come to its natural rhythm. You're really in that full surrender. Great, and then if your head is turned in one direction, we're at the halfway point, so you can just slowly turn the gaze in the other direction. And again, just remembering to always give yourself permission to feel tired. Sometimes it's inconvenient to feel tired during the day, but there's nothing wrong with feeling tired. Sometimes in our culture, we're taught to kind of keep pushing, but ideally we can listen to the body's signals. Make sure that you're still comfortable. You can always shift around a little bit if you need, or come out. Last few breaths. So if your head is turned, just slowly bring your chin back to center. So realign the back of the neck. Great. And then inhale, we're going to rise up. So again, we've been in that pose a while. So just letting yourself slowly kind of emerge from the little cocoon there. And then take your cushion or bolster, you're going to cross it over the top of your mat. You can also roll up a little blanket for that. We're going to use it in a moment. But just first come into your table and then extend one leg back behind. So we're in child's pose, the knees are bent. Just kind of open up the knee. That foot is down. You can also press the heel back if you want to stretch into your calf there. that slow, deep breath. Release that leg, extend the other leg back, open up the knee joint, and you can also stretch into your calf, press the heel back. Yes, great. And then release that knee down. And then we're going to use our cushions or our bolster. If you don't have something that's firm and supportive, you can do this without it too, with your elbows just down on the mat. So elbows are going to come down on your bolster or on your mat or your cushions. Bring your palms together. Walk your knees back a couple steps. We're going to lift and lower, and then we're going to stretch. Another one for the shoulders, a little different way. So as you inhale, lean your hips back, bring your hands up. So press your palms together and bring your chest and your head down. So inhale. And then exhale, coming back up. Press down, just lift your chest up out of that shoulder stretch. Good. Inhale, lean back, coming back down into the stretch. Hands point up. Good. Exhale, coming out. And then a couple more like that on your own. So just follow your breath. 2 more cycles. And then next time you drop into the shoulder stretch, let's hold and make sure you feel like you can sustain. So sometimes we need to walk the knees a little further forward or a little further back. Chest comes down and then hold there. So let's try for 3 breaths. Keep the hands pressing in so there's a little bit of engagement as we stretch. Coming back to the rhythm of the breath and how it moves the belly. So we're keeping our attention kind of into the center part of the body. Yes, and when you're complete, last breath cycle, press back down, lifting up, coming out of the stretch. And then let's extend the arms. If you've got your pillow there or cushion, just slide it off of the mat, coming back to your table just to kind of settle back in neutral for a moment. Great, and then we're going to come to sit. So sitting up on something is ideal, so you do have some support. Good, and then if you've got your block, take your block, you're just going to move it off to the side so you can just grab it in a moment. And we'll extend our legs out. Take your block, bring your block on the narrow side between your lower legs and kind of walk your legs in. Squeeze the block, flex your feet, reach your arms out. As you exhale, reach forward as you come down. So you're opening into this forward fold. You've got your block there, hugging in toward the block. So we've already done quite a bit of leg stretching, so maybe you feel a sense of ease here. Good, and inhale, coming up, keep that block there. As you exhale, walk your hands back, lift your chest, just breathing freely, roll your shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades in. Relax your face. You can look forward or maybe slightly up, but try not to drop your head all the way back. That can compress your neck. So keeping the throat open. And then bend one elbow so you kind of twist in that direction. Straighten and bend the other, so twisting. Straighten, a couple more cycles, just bending and straightening. So moving into the upper back. Yes, and then back to center. We're going to come up. Take your block now. Let's sit cross-legged if that works for you, or any other way where you can sit comfortably and in a balanced position. Take the block now so it's on the long side. Hands on either side of your block. Extend your arms out. Squeeze the sides of the block. So don't overdo that, but just after that stretching, we're just going to kind of squeeze a little bit and then reach your arms up with the block. As you exhale, little side bend to the right. If you don't have a block, you can just reach your arms shoulder width apart. Inhale, come back to center, lengthening up. Exhale, little side bend to the left. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Now bring the block, if you have it, to the back of your head. And you're going to bring your hands onto the back of your block. Fingertips point in, elbows point wide. If you don't have your block, interlace your fingers on the back of your head. You'll probably feel a stretch just by reaching your hands to the back of your block, but if you don't, press your head back a little bit into your block and reach your elbows back further, and you'll probably feel more for the chest area. And just noticing what gets stirred up. So there can be obviously the physical component of our stretching, but also maybe something gets stirred up in the heart. Maybe there's a memory. So be curious there. Yeah, one more breath. Good. And then let's come out. So just relaxing your shoulders. If you've got your block, take that block out. Bring your hands down, and we'll do a few kind of loose shoulder rolls up, back, and down. So sometimes there's pockets of tension that can hang out, sometimes for years in certain areas, and we can kind of reach in there almost like we're opening up the windows, letting fresh air in, and then we can roll the shoulders forward a couple times. So if you're sitting cross-legged, let's switch the crossing. And we're going to come back to our side bend, this time without the block. Reach your arms up, inhale, exhale, side bend back to the right, right hand down. Left arm's going to reach across, so try not to twist, so just a side bend. Bring that left hip, sitting bone and press it down. And if this is hard for your shoulder, you can bend your elbow, or you can just even release your left arm altogether and still find that side bend. You can also bend your right elbow a little bit to deepen. Good, last breath. And an inhale, floating back up, reach both arms. And exhale, come right across to the other side. So left hand down, right arm across, try to anchor through the right sitting bone, bottom of your pelvis. Feel that into the right side, right arm across or right arm down. Good, last slow breath. And an inhale coming up. Reach both arms up. When you get there, pause and center and feel that lift straight up through the crown of the head. And then keep that sense of lift as you exhale, bring your palms together and slowly drop the hands down the center line, touching the heart. Then pause there for a moment. Good, releasing your arms and the hands down. Let's take a moment to focus on the neck. So just simple half circles with the neck, dropping your chin toward your chest. And then you can just kind of roll one ear across toward one shoulder. Feel that for the opposite side of the neck, and then roll forward, cross other side. Just back and forth, these slow half circles. Try to keep your teeth parted a little bit so we're not unconsciously clenching the jaw here. Breathing through the nose. And if you find any little areas of the neck that need more release, you can sort of hang out there and kind of move your chin around up and down. So the neck and the lower back are the most mobile sort of ends of the spine. And then once the left ear comes toward the left shoulder, just take a couple breaths on that side, opening into the right side of the neck. Good, Good, roll back forward, other side. So right ear toward the right shoulder, opening into the left side of the neck. Almost imagine there's a little weight on the top of your left shoulder, so we're keeping that shoulder down. Good, roll the chin back to center. Inhale, lifting your head up, and then just look up, again, that kind of halfway position without dropping your head all the way back. We're just looking up. So opening the throat, opening the front of the neck, and nourishing the thyroid. Great, and then coming back to center with the head. So one more seated pose. If you're sitting cross-legged, first open up your legs. And then let's actually all do this, even if you weren't sitting cross-legged. Bring your legs out and then roll in and out a few times, like kind of that loose rocking that we do. Great, and then we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees fall open. So Baddha Konasana, reach down towards your shins, lengthen up through your spine, and then exhale, folding forward. So you can walk your hands out as you come down. We have our props, so if you've got your block, you can bring your block maybe under your forehead. If you're down that low, you can stack a couple blocks if you like. So it's nice to rest your head on something if you're down far enough. So here's a demo with 2 blocks. And if your head is resting on the block, it's also a nice kind of release on those acupressure points of the sinuses there in the forehead area. Few more breaths. And then if you're still down, inhale, slowly coming back up. Walk your hands in, lift the spine, keep your legs where they are. And we're gonna kind of finish this last part of the pose. I'm gonna open it up to massaging your feet in any way that feels good. So I like to take my thumbs and kind of press into the arches of the feet. There's all the reflexology points in the feet. All the organs are represented in the feet energetically. It's one of my nightly rituals is to massage my feet before bed. So it helps to nourish the whole body, plus it feels good. If you find an area that has like some hardness there, you can kind of pause and press, breathe. It's always interesting to look up the foot reflexology chart. If you do have a particularly sensitive area, look up what organ or part of the body that correlates with. Good, last breath. All right. And then reach around, support your knees there for the outside, just pick your knees up. And we're gonna come down, let's roll down and grab whatever you'd like for our Shavasana. So blankets, eye pillow, bolsters, so you just have those by your side. And then once you come down, like we did in the very beginning, knees in towards your chest. And this time bring your hands on top of your kneecaps, and we'll make a few circles with the knees, a few times either direction. See if you can let your spine be so relaxed that you feel that movement kind of rippling all the way up. So again, allowing yourselves to deeply relax is really an act of trust. So we're trusting that we can let go, we feel safe. Good. Letting both knees drop to the left. We'll take a little twist, reach your right arm out, anchor down through that right shoulder. And you can, if you want more support, you can bring your bolster between your legs or your block. You can also bring that block under the bottom knee too. Just 3 breaths. Inhale back to center, just level the hips if they've shifted, and then exhale, come right into the twist, other direction. So both knees drop to the right, root down through that left shoulder. You can use your pillow or your block between your knees or under the bottom knee. Inhale, again, unwind back to center, pulling the knees in. And then exhale, we're going to come into our Shavasana. So you can take your time with your setup. You can use 1 or maybe even 2 pillows this evening under your legs. So really kind of a nice luxurious support. You can take a little pillow if you want under the back of your head. So because our theme is sleep, we're going to really get comfortable here. And we're going to take our meditation this evening in our Shavasana, so it's going to be kind of a longer time down. So I'm just finding your comfort. You can turn off the lights. So even though our theme is sleep, let's try not to actually fall asleep, but if you do, I'm going to ring the bell if you'll hear that, but we're going to practice this conscious relaxation, which is a perfect doorway into sleep. And when you get your setup, it's like this sort of similar routine, right, before bed. So our sleep hygiene, what do we do to prepare for bed? So we turn the screens off, unplug, close your eyes. And I'm going to read some words of Rumi to kind of guide us in our Shavasana and kind of make this transition into our meditation. And you can just stay down as you are for your meditation, unless you want to come up to sit. But we can just kind of take a quieter meditation this evening on our backs if you'd like. So this is a part of a Rumi poem. At night, I open the window and ask the moon to come and press its face against mine. Breathe into me. Close the language door and open the love window. The moon won't use the door, only the window. Close the language door and open the love window. So when we let ourselves deeply relax and we let ourselves sleep and drift off to sleep, we're letting go of the ego, of the rational mind, and coming back into this sense of union with that which is beyond ourselves. So it's like that classic metaphor of the drop merging back into the ocean. So we can just shed our kind of worldly responsibilities as we rest. So because we're not actually sleeping, we're coming into this altered state. We're also lightly tracking the mind. So we're sort of hovering right on that edge. So sometimes we can kind of overdo the work in our practice. So we can strive and we have that ambition, which is helpful, but there's also times to let it go. So the last few minutes I'm going to play my tank drum. I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear it. I'll just play for a couple minutes here. Slowly bringing some small movements back into the body, reawakening. And if you want to stay down, actually feel free to stay down. If you're sleeping, wonderful. I'll see you on Tuesday. Otherwise, if you're ready to end practice and you maybe have something else to do this evening and you want to come up, please transition, coming back to comfortable seat. And once you're seated upright, join your palms together, palm to palm in front of the heart. And just take a moment to feel gratitude for the time and space to practice together. And just offering up, kind of sending out some of the blessings and merit that we generate through our practice toward all beings. And we'll bow to ourselves and each other. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. May you sleep like babies tonight.